Hi, everybody, and welcome to a brand new, beautiful, radiant Wednesday with Cosmic Sis-Stars show and Anne and Corrine. And I just see right now that on our new channel, we are not actually going live. I don't know why. A little bit of a hiccups. But anyway, we are still on youtube.com/ at Angel Place on Earth / streams. So we are still live over there. And we're going to stream the show right after on facebook.com/ Cosmic Guardians. Dashes and slashes, my favorite.
Mhm.
So again here, welcome Radiant Souls to the Cosmic Sistar show. And tonight your celestial guides, Anne and Corrine, invite you to step into the mystical realm where numbers speak. Vibrations guide and divine digits reveal their secrets. Decoding the divine digits, a dive into numbers, numerology, and guidance, isn't just a conversation. It's a journey into the hidden language of the universe and of our soul, to be honest, because we have all these languages within us already.
Mhm.
From the sacred patterns that shape our lives to the wisdom encoded in every number, we will uncover how numerology can illuminate your path, empower your choices, and connect you to cosmic guidance. So grab your stardust, open your heart, and get ready to align with the frequencies that have been whispering to humanity since the dawn of time. The Cosmic
Yes.
Sisters are live and the digits are ready to dance. So today we have Wednesday, December 10th, and we are almost approaching New Year's, not very far away, 20 days. And
Yes.
our future in Australia has Thursday, December 11th. How about that? A nice number, that too. That's a master number.
Yes.
And today we're going to talk about decoding the divine digits, a dive into numbers, numerology, and guidance. And of course, your questions. So if you want to write to us anything in the comment section, please do. Don't hesitate. Don't be shy. And you can find upcoming and past episodes at our brand new YouTube channel for Cosmic Guardians at youtube.com/ Cosmic Guardians 111. Unfortunately, StreamYard tells us that we are not live on the new YouTube channel, but we are live on youtube.com/ Angel Place on Earth / streams. And you can find our series, which we currently have 2 series. We made the 4 agreements, and we are next year. That sounds like far away from now, but we are just 20 days away, right? So sometime
Yes.
next year, we're going to dig into the 5th agreement and also some other stuff that's coming along with that particular tool. I call it a tool because it's a wonderful tool. You find our series at angelplaceonearth.com/series-cosmic-guardians. And we also have done the Celestial Prophecy this year, 12 insights plus summary. So it's interesting, and you can dig into all of those things on angelplaceonearth.com/series-cosmic-guardians. And
Mhm.
our last show with Cosmic Sisters and Miss Corrine and myself was last Wednesday, December 3rd, and we talked about color, canvas, and consciousness, what art teaches us about ourselves. And that was really interesting, to be honest.
Yes.
If you want to connect with us, read articles and find out more about us, find how to connect with Corrine, how to find out to connect with me, you go to angelplaceonearth.com/Cosmic Guardians. And also you can find past and upcoming episodes at angelplaceonearth.com/upcoming-. So enough talking from me now. I always love to talk, right? Let's into the numbers.
Let's go into those numbers. And I'm going to say, would you please lead us off today?
Okay, so I start. I can start with some personal experiences and stories about numbers. I love numbers. Um, you can do a lot of things with numbers, and for me, when I started my conscious journey, I was literally showering in numbers on a daily basis. So I had a notebook with me, and I wrote down. And this is also connected to that what we focus on increases, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I ended up, in the beginning, maybe I saw 555, 444, 111, 5, 10 times a day, a little bit normal. But I stopped writing them down at a certain point because I ended up, I could sit and write all the time. And I said, just, hey, wait a minute. So numbers are messengers, right? They are
Mm-hmm.
frequencies, they are energy, and they are the sacred language of the universe, whispering through time, space, and synchronicity. And today, for me, numbers are, of course, we can look up many things with numbers, like numerology. We can look up what our name is going to tell numerology with numbers about ourselves, our life path, a lot of those other things. And by the way, this year, 2025, is the year of number 9. So when you count in numerology, the traditional way, you add, it's 2025. So you add 2 and 0 is 2. 2 and 2 is 4. 4 plus 5 is 9. So that's how you can calculate. So 9 for me is a sign of closing up a circle, closing a certain phase. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and we always work in our lives, in my perception, in time frames and phases. I think phases is a better way. So when something is starting to end, it means that there's a new beginning on the other side coming after that, right? So we
Mm-hmm.
start fresh again. So next year is number 1. How about that? A great way to start anew. But in reality, we can always start anew, right? And
Yes.
also, when we calculate numbers, the year has a different meaning for each and every one of us. It depends on our date of birth, right? So you can calculate that in that way too. But back again to my beginning, and this is usually called angel numbers. But my perception of angel numbers in numerology is basically it's numbers. So you can calculate them and use them in a way that you feel this is in alignment with me. So I started to notice repeating digits, right? Waking up in the middle of the night, 222, or 111, 333, 444, you name it, 555, right?
Yes.
Um, and it's funny for us here I'm in Greece right now, but in Sweden, also in Europe, we count in military numbers. So 1111, that is AM, right?
Mm-hmm.
But in the evening, that would be 2323 for me. But that's also a repeating pattern and a number, right? So it's very,
Yes.
very interesting. And
Yes.
I think that in because I was so focused in the beginning on the numbers that came to me all the time, all over the place. So I wanted to try to figure out a message. So I had that sense of I want to know what they are wanting to tell me. what's happening right now, right? And
Yes.
you can actually, if you think of all these numbers coming to you as guidance, you can understand things differently. And sometimes, nowadays, most of the time, when I see numbers, it's usually because the universe wants my attention.
Yes.
They say to me, hey, listen, watch now. Something is going to come. That it's like the energy, so they want my attention. And you can also, which I did in the past, if I saw a number on a car plate, for instance, 444, then I looked around and I saw what else was going on. Sometimes that can be someone says something, you are thinking about something, you are doing something special that you can count into that thing with guidance. Or you get a phone call at that time, the same time as you see the number. But you can also look at the other numbers around. And I found this incredible site, Sacred Scribes Angel Numbers with Joanne Walmsley.
Mhm.
I'm going to try to see if I can post that because that goes even to uneven numbers. So if I saw 444 on a car, I looked on both sides, maybe one or two cars away, too. And that could be 218, 399. So this way, when you are working on yourself to understand and feel in and what this is going to tell you, it's a great way to actually start understanding a little bit better with the messages coming, right? What do you say,
Mhm.
Miss Green?
I also had that experience. 1111 kept drawing my attention, and the curiosity, and the bringing out a notebook, and the trying to keep all the numbers, and and realizing, okay, this is a journey. This is not the destination. And then when I allowed myself to start doing the automatic writing, 4:44 in the morning, and I would say, "Look, guys, can't we make it, you know, later, 4:44?" I'd wake up and be told, "Take a pen and write." And I did a lot of creating at that particular time, and I go, "Well, that was cool." But I started learning that the numbers were guides. They were not something that was just going to be all of me. And when I had the experience of being introduced to numerology, um, I found that we on this earth have a cycle, and we have a destiny that I think the numbers are trying to help bring to the foreground, so you will be able to really see yourself. And when the soul recognize its divine nature and moves gracefully into the concert with the divine will, the soul is moving on your destiny path. And I was lucky that my teacher um, asked me, she said, "Would you like to know what your sacred name is?" Um, I studied in the ancient East Indian philosophy, and I go, "Oh, sure." So I was given a sacred name, and my spiritual name is Siri Karamkar. And what it means is one who speaks with integrity and truth, and doer of great deeds. Now, I stole a candy bar when I was 7, and I cannot see myself doing great deeds. And I thought, well, that was cool. But the energy around me is what is moving me toward finding my true, authentic self.
Yeah, and that is, yeah, go ahead, please. Sorry.
No, no, no. I'm waiting for you. I zipped
Okay,
it.
that's interesting. I never kind of, my experience of numerology, I just grab what I felt aligned with. But you sent me something today that I'm going to dig into. That's interesting, and I feel is probably connected to the Eastern,
Hmm.
way of old numerology. And I think usually they have probably many similarities, but also some differences. And
Hmm.
this that you are sharing, that's more into coming into to see deeper things about yourself. So it's really intriguing, right?
Yes, and one of the things that I learned when I was studying was that each level of our soul uh, has a positive and a negative aspect to it, meaning that, for instance, you may be dynamic and you may be loving and you may be healing, but what could you be if you weren't following that path? Maybe you're going to be a narcissist, maybe you're going to be this. So learning how to increase the positive in you really gives you a chance to start making developments into who you are and what you came to do. And for instance, what people see of us may not be who we really are, but that's our
No.
projected image. And
Yeah.
it really gave me time to ponder and do some reflecting, because um, yes, I am into making a little, happy on there. I will
Yeah.
tell you a cute little story my teacher gave to us. And she said that when the soul is ready to incarnate, um, Almighty goes up to the soul and says, "It's time for you to, take a big, deep dive." And the little soul says, "No, I don't want to go. All my friends are here." And he says, "That's okay. I'm going to send with you some gifts. And your first gift will be the soul itself. And that's going to be with you always. Now, the second gift I'm going to give you is called the negative mind. And that's going to help you not fall off a cliff. You're going to go, don't want to do that." The third energy is a positive mind, which says, well, if we do this just right, we might be okay. And then the fourth energy is the neutral mind and can see the big picture and says, look, guys, you're coming at this a little dangerously. Why don't we reevaluate? And that fifth energy is the body itself. And this is how this was taught to me. And I thought, well, that really makes a lot of sense, because these are gifts and aspects of ourselves that are going to allow us to dive deep into what we came here to do. And there's more, but we'll go into them later.
It is more, and it's interesting because, even astrology talks about that, even off the topic a little bit. But, astrology, you have your birth sign, the time you were born, and what sign
Mm-hmm.
is up then. And then you have the ascendant, what you are showing the world, right?
Yes.
And then you have the moon that reflects emotions and things and how you manage your emotions, right? So it's interesting. And I think that we talked about this before we started the show, and it resonates so deeply with me, and I think it does with you too. I know it does because we have so many tools in numerology and this um, ancient science, you can say, you can call it. It's
Mm-hmm.
another way of trying to figure out things about yourself. It
Yes.
doesn't mean that it's static. It means that it gives us some clues, and then we can move further along and actually make use of our gifts and talents that we have when we come here.
Yeah. What kind of impressed me also was that each one of these frequencies has a body part that kind of goes along with it. So if you're having, some aches and pains in your back, maybe you're not being true to that frequency that is telling you, or maybe if you're too mental about things, um, and you can work on coming to a resolve about that. So it's interesting because like the sixth energy body is the arc line, and that
Yes,
arc line is very strong over a woman's heart. We always need to protect that, and it's defined as a person in prayer. And when you're living this energy, you have a mastery over your word and you keep commitments, which you do. You keep your commitments. You know, you are this sacred person that likes to have cozy places, but you are organized. But you organize everything the way that you feel good about it. And like the seventh energy is the auric body itself, and it is the divine shield, and it's the self identity. So there was so much more. It was like, oh, this is so exciting, and uh, it is to see that there is so much out there that we can tap into to really have a better understanding of navigating this world.
exactly. And if we take this back to guidance, so if you know this way that you are expressing now to count the numbers, there's going to be a whole new meaning behind them, right?
Hmm.
That's
Yes,
interesting.
and one of the things that that I was learning from my teacher is that just because you may have some negative traits from that particular number, you can work on those. You can bring them to where that is no longer a weakness, and it becomes a strength. And that was what I loved about that. And with the seventh energy, it is the inner warrior. It's inspiring others. It's almost like a cosmic forklift, and you're able to set boundaries. uh, that's not one of my best frequencies, and this is what I like about it is that it gives you it gives you food for thought. It gives you something that you can work with and understand that just by tweaking that energy a little bit and enhancing what you already have, life is so much easier.
Do you want to show us the book so we can see it?
Yes. Can you see that? I don't
Yeah,
know
it says
very well.
Star Code and Destiny. The Star
Yes,
Code or Destiny.
of
Yeah, that's
of
interesting.
destiny, of destiny. And my teacher, Sangeet Kaur, um, I took that class like in 2006, and a completely naive, but she said, "Yeah, you want to be a master? This is one of your class. When you really study with a master, if that master says to you, I think you ought to go for 2 weeks and live in a tent and learn Kundalini yoga, that would be good for you to become a master." And I go, yes, ma'am. Although I'd never done Kundalini but one time. And I'm sitting there going, hud, hud, huddy, what the heck am I doing here? You know, and But when you want to become the best that you can become, and you have trusted your teacher to give you that direction, you don't question it. I mean, you don't go jump off a cliff. I'm not saying that. But you trust yourself, and you trust that this is for your highest good. So I was very blessed, and studied with this teacher for probably 8 years, and but not so much as to emulate what she was doing, but to find me and
Yes.
become the master of me.
Yes. That's beautiful. It's brilliant. Perfect. I go about this more in the traditional way of numerology, but I'm very intrigued, and I wrote up the name of the book. I'm going to find the book. Thank you for
Yes,
sharing that with us. And
this is the
by the way, just chiming in here, we have Sonia with us from France today. So hi,
hi,
Sonia,
Sonia.
welcome. We love you too.
Yes, I'm. This is an incredible journey for both of us, and we always love to have people going along and gleaning from it what they need, and being able to utilize what they can use.
Exactly. And because numerology is an ancient science of decoding the vibrational essence of numbers and understanding how they shape our lives, our choices, and our soul's path. So, digging deeper, going deeper than the traditional way of um, interpreting numbers, right?
Hmm.
Each number carries a unique energy signature, but also when we dig deeper, we can have this understanding of how it does really truly affect us, right? So that's intriguing. Each number holds a key to unlocking aspects of our identity. I'm just going to mention very briefly the traditional ones, right? So you
Hmm.
may mention the ones um, briefly that you have been studying because I find them really, truly intriguing. So number one speaks of beginnings, like the seed, the spark, when we are standing in front of something new, like next year, you know. But
Hmm.
also remember that it is what we are doing with it. So it doesn't really matter only the number of the year or whatever, right? It's also up to us to do something with it, right?
Yes.
Number two is the mirror. It can reflect partnerships, duality, balance, and it teaches us to listen. Um, three is the number of expression. Also, even in a spiritual text, they talk about, I don't know the exact English word. You see how good I am. When they speak about the three things in spirituality, right? In
Hmm.
spiritual texts. Um, four is the foundation, and that is actually a number that I'm being shown quite a lot, to be honest. And for me, when they show that to me, when they want me to give a message to someone, speaking on the phone or whatever, however I communicate, um, it is the foundation, it's the structure. You have created the platform, and you built the four walls, and from that place you can build even more further on, right?
Yes.
Five is the energy of change. It's the movement, freedom, and transformation. It calls us to release what no longer serves and embrace the unknown with courage and curiosity. And there, funnily, a lot of people say, well, I want to know exactly what's going to come, right? So number five calls us to actually release that. Six is the vibration of love. It's harmony, healing, and responsibility. to serve and to embody compassion in every choice we make. 7 is a very, very mystic and spiritual number. It is the seeker, introspection, mysticism, and spiritual depth. And 8 is the frequency of power. If you have the 8 lying down, it's infinity, right? So it's also a hint that you are soon coming to number 9, which is the number of completion, like I like to say, when you are closing the sack or the circle, or you're coming to an end, you are closing up a phase in your life, and you are leaving that behind and you step into something new, or you rebuild or you redo, coming back to number 1. So we keep counting until we come to 11, 22, 33. And these are considered master numbers, and they are also deeply spiritual. Usually, someone having a master number in their numerology chart is someone who truly is a seeker, teacher, a master, right? So I know that you have 11 in yours.
Yes.
That's interesting. And I have 11 somewhere in mine
Mhm.
too. Um,
Yes.
And then we have 0. 0 is the void, but you don't really count 0, you could say, usually, because you count, if you come to 10, you count 1 plus 0, that's 1. So you start over again. But 0 is the void, the womb, the space between form. It holds all possibilities and reminds us that creation begins in stillness. It is the breath between worlds.
Yes. Yes. And I think, unbeknownst to myself, because I learned this method, that the energies were so connected to us physically, and guided us from that way, that the numbers outside of us were just reminders. And they said, okay, go this way. I do have to tell you, I'm not going to finish all the story with the little soul, except the last one. And
Okay.
11, interestingly enough, 11. Well, according to this philosophy, if you come and you are able to conquer each one of these energies, and you become the best 2 vibration and the best 4 vibration, and so forth and so on, then you get to go back and you don't have to come back to Earth to do any more homework. Well, you get a couple of these souls up there that have really mastered all these things, and the divine person comes along and says, hey, I really want you to go back to Earth one more time. Wait a minute. I have a contract. It says I don't have to do this again. That's my choice. And when they're not looking, God kind of kicks them off. And this is why a lot of people that come in with 11s will either be, absolutely saintly, wonderful teachers, or they're going to be the worst antagonist and everything else. And I thought that was really clever, how what we come in with is has so much power over our energy to make change. And the way that I was taught, because of the soul energy, that first body of soul energy, that's going to help you balance the energies between your head and your heart. Having compassion and intellect. Now, a weakness that you may have to get over is headstrong and willful, and always doing things because the head tells you. And interestingly enough, it affects the spine and the heart.
Oh,
And then the second energy is that inner teacher of listening to your own teacher and making convictions and having the infinity to see the differences and the polarities. And then if you need to work on that, you find that you're always looking for a mate to find that completion, because a two needs to be two. It doesn't need to be three or four or everything else. So these were interesting ways of looking at this. And like I said, I did not realize how interesting this was until you asked me to go back to it. And so I appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you. And a big part of the spiritual path also, a little bit off the topic again, but I think it's important to say, it is that we have so many tools, and we talked about this before the show also.
Yes.
It's good. It's the best thing to have a big, huge toolbox. But if we are going to dig deep into every single one of them, 24 hours wouldn't be enough, right?
Nope.
For a day and a night. So we would do this all the time. But if we study broad things in a broad perspective, we are getting a lot of good information that we can use. And growing yourself means also that we will understand each and every time how we can apply messages or the guidance or what's coming to us, and how to use it to our advantage, right?
Yes. And one of the things that I'll say to someone when they come in and they've really got a physical challenge or mental challenge or emotional challenge or whatever other kind of challenge, and I will lovingly say to them, if someone tells you their way is the only way, run away.
Yeah, exactly.
Because what I may offer may be of assistance to this person, it may not have any assistance to this one. And this is why I think when I came into this world, stubborn, tenacious, there was something within me that said, I'll do it my way. And I have not been stubborn in doing it my way or no way. It's just simply, I'm not going to just latch on to someone and make them my guru and live off of every word they say and every breath. I have all of this integrity, and I glean the information I need from this particular teacher, but I don't become where I can't function without being that. And I think that was something that I needed to learn about things. And then I would bump into somebody that maybe was teaching this, and then I was able to get what I needed from it, but I didn't become obsessed with it. Because when you have an obsession with anything, whether it's good, bad, or indifferent, it becomes the power over you.
Yes, exactly. And I've been just like you. Even as a small child, I stated, I hear you. I'm going to think about it. I may do as you say, or I may not.
Exactly. Or may do some of it, but not all of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
don't tell me what to do, because that's going to bring me when I was small.
I had a situation where I was getting ready to put a roof. I was going to extend my patio. And I know how things go together. So I made a list of, I needed 2x4s. I needed this. I needed the little brackets to hold it and everything else. So I go down And the guy looks at me and he says, "What are you building?" And I said, "I'm going to cover my patio." And he said, "Who's doing it for you?" I said, "I am." He said, "You can't do that." And I looked at him and I took all my 5'2" and I said, "Sir, unless I find out that I can't do it, I will do it."
Exactly. Good on you.
So um, I think our tenacity and our stubbornness has served us well.
It really has, And like everything else, I like to go into what I label as guided into certain things, like because I'm a Gemini, Mercury is my planet, so of course I'm going to be affected by Mercury retrograde. Isn't that
Uh-huh.
obvious? It
Yeah,
took me quite some time. I used to stubbornly trying to fight that energy. But as everything else, the good news is that we can work with any energy instead of fighting it. That's the way to go. And that applies to
exactly.
numbers as well, right? How we
Exactly.
feel about them. And
Yes.
when numbers appear in sequences like 11, 22, 222, 333, 444,
Yeah.
that amplifies their message. So that's a good thing to think about. So if you, with your philosophy, encounters 888, that amplifies the energy somehow, right?
Man, I'd go out and buy a lottery ticket. you know, you know, um, yes, and I encourage people to have love and have fun and not be serious. These are tools. These are ways to guide us. And by the way, hanging around with you, Mercury has come and hung out with me now and seems to like to, play with me a lot more than it ever did before. So thank you, dear friend, and our friend
Yeah.
Mercury. Um,
I give you a secret about Mercury, just short. Because, Mercury is famous for interfering with technical stuff,
yep,
electricity, things of that nature. You name it, computers, cell phones, fridges,
right.
ovens, stoves, everything. And also communication.
Oh, yes.
But, if you go with the energy, it's an introvert energy. So if you can, you don't have to sign that very important contract when you are in that period, right? Or if you
No,
have to, you make sure to read it 10 times so you're sure, so you don't
yes,
sign anything. I mean, to be over the top clear. It's the same with communication. So if I want to get through to you and tell you something, I can have a receipt, meaning that I ask you, did you understand it in this way that I meant it? Right?
yes,
So we
yes.
don't talk over our heads. That's one way of going with it and going within, listening within.
Hmm. And there
Thank
again,
you for that, Mother.
but there again, with the numbers, when they show up, it's not, oh my gosh, the earth is going to fall. It is, okay, what am I going to glean from this? Uh, how can I be more prepared for what is a possibility or not a possibility? Just be prepared. I mean, in Arizona, if we see clouds, we have this philosophy: it's not raining unless you're actually getting wet, because they move so fast and everything else. But if you live in a place where you just get a hint of a cloud, you're going to take an umbrella because it's going to rain. But these are guides. These are ways to sense what we're doing. And I feel that everything that we have around us is just trying to make it a little easier for us to navigate.
Exactly. You can see astrology and numbers has some sort of a language, energy language,
Very much so.
because they are energies. The planets are energy, numbers are energy, frequencies. That's a great
Absolutely.
way. And these days, I get numbers once in a while. They are not showering me with numbers any longer, but I get them once in a while. But then I know, okay, they want my attention.
Yep.
So heads up, but it doesn't mean that I have to push forward to find what they want to show me. I take a step back and I become
Yep.
chilling out. And I just say, okay, this is going to be interesting, like you love to say.
Yes. Because it is. Because just learning to go with the flow, learning to feel that ebb, that there again, that flow comes in, but the rhythm. And when you become in the rhythm of life, you're going to notice these things and you're going to put them into your calculation. And it's no different than if you were making a recipe and you add this and then you add that and you add this and then you have that balance and then it comes out hopefully to be something edible.
Exactly.
Exactly. So
So, yes, go ahead, please.
now go.
Okay. I was actually thinking about the questions.
Okay. If I were to say to you, now you're going to have to get your little sheet of paper and you're going to have to look into. I would suggest you look in the number 4 energy.
The number 4 energy. Yeah.
Yes, that is the meditative mind. And I'm going to read these off and you see who they may sound like. Mental mastery, a good listener, known as the meditative mind or the yogic mind, has the ability to rise above things and look at the whole picture, is non-reactive and detached, unconditional love without exceptions, stays neutral even with criticism, true compassion, and allows you to perceive and decide and act quickly on decisions, and is organized. Who does that sound like?
I think it sounds like me, but
Yeah,
it also sounds like you.
that's that is one of my strong numbers. Is
Yeah.
that? However, there are um, there is one thing that remember I told you that I I constantly get an A+ in procrastination. And it's
Yeah.
interesting because one of these challenges in here, I'd have to look it up, is procrastination. So I've decided I'm not going to brag about getting A's in procrastination. I'm going to say on my next test, I am going to get an F plus on procrastination. I am going to eliminate that because it slows me down. But isn't that interesting how someone who knew not of me, but when we did the numerology, and I'm
Yeah.
going, oh, that is me. And then
Yeah.
I'll throw one more in here. I'm not going to give you a test because that was a little too hard.
Can I just chime in here and say something? If you count my date of birth, year, month, and day, right?
Yes.
You count that, I end up in traditional numerology as a life path number 4. Isn't that interesting? So we are so much alike. You are my
Yeah.
twin.
And it's interesting how these things work out. But when I was learning this, one of the other energies that I is how people perceive me, and that is the radiant body, and it's royal courage, uh, creative consciousness, expanded and no limitations, natural healers, leaders, takes commands, is charismatic. Think of if Elizabeth Taylor were to walk in the room and everybody stops and looks. So I'm learning this and I'm going, well, that doesn't sound like me at all. But that is in one of my projected ones. And so I decided to test it. You know me, I'm not going to take it for nothing. So I was going to a singles dance to meet my friend. And I walked in and I saw her sitting at a table. And there were all these men that were standing. They weren't around the wall. They were standing around the dance floor, eyeballing the women and seeing who they were going to dance with. And I was going to walk over to her. I kid you not. They turned and looked at me, and it parted like the Red Sea. And I'm going, and I wasn't doing anything. I wasn't, here I am, save the day. I just was me. And I thought that energy was there. It was real. So I went over and I sat down and I'm smiling. And this man comes up and asks me to dance. And usually, they're going to hold you as tight as they can at a singles dance. And there's about 6 inches between us. And he's dancing with me. And he looks at me and he says, you're a very powerful woman. And I said, well, does that bother you? And he goes, no. But he never asked me to dance again. So it is real. And when I do a numerology on someone, I have a chart that brings into it. Where is my? I'm studying. Okay. It has what your base is, what you came in as a soul. It has your projection. It has the soul projection. It has a gift. It has past life. It has your destiny path. It has your gift of the destiny path. It has what your personal cycle is, the gift for that personal cycle, because we're always given a gift to get through these things. It also lists our challenges and our assets. So it looks kind of like that. And by filling that out, it kind of gives me an idea of where does this little soul going?
And that's intriguing. That goes deep. It goes deep at a soul level, right? And that is
Yes.
so much more, traditional numerology is more like, we scratch the surface. Yeah. But in order to get to know ourselves, we need to dig deep within.
Yes. This is like, doing the extra homework, and the numbers are there to guide us to do something about it, and not break your fingers writing everything down. That notebook gets bigger and bigger and thicker and thicker. But go ahead.
No, go ahead. You go ahead.
But it gives a different perspective of where this person, for instance, in a relationship, if this person has a lot of twos and they cannot be alone and they will go with any partner just to not feel alone, maybe this is something that they need to resolve on a soul level rather than an emotional level. And so this is such a tool that I can use to kind of understand and be able to assist people a lot more. And I'm going to bring it back into my repertoire, into my little toolkit, because I had forgotten how intriguing it was. And thank you again.
you could find a soul's energetic signature and blueprint
Exactly.
through
Exactly.
working with that thing, right? That's
Yes.
perfect.
And it allows for you to kind of get to the nut and bolts. It's get through all the riffraff and the I shoulds and I couldas and I yelled at my dog and I this and I that, and just get down to the basics. It's like taking a shower and getting all of the mud off so you can find out what's really there.
Exactly. And not having to fight yourself, getting to
Hmm.
know more about yourself. That is really important, right?
Yes.
So, are you ready for my questions?
Oh, yes, ma'am. Go ahead. Just do your thing.
So, what number do you feel most connected to? What number do you feel most connected to and why?
Okay. You always ask such a question that has so many different facets to it. Um, I would say my most exciting number would be maybe a 10, because that allows me to just, you know, be myself, and it has, to me, it has a little bit more flair. It has uh, what's going to transpire, and let's let's just see where we're going to go with this. But I
Yeah.
am such a a meditative mind and a healer and everything else. But I guess 10 would be something. It would be like the icing on the cake.
Yeah, and it's also interesting because you are so connected to the void, first of all. Zero is the void, 10 is the void, and 10 stands for all of those things you mentioned. But also, it's, starting fresh, not being fearful of closing one chapter, moving on to the next. That's
Yep.
it. That's green.
Yep.
Easy peasy.
Oh, easy peasy.
Yeah. So I know that you have noticed repeating numbers like 1, 11, 11, or 222. What kind of number is more frequently coming up for you?
Well, they're varying now because it's like, eh, we got her attention. We don't need to bother her right now. Um, However, 444 became a real catch number because as I was on this journey, that is when everybody in the other realms decided that I should get up and write. And I would look at the clock and I would protest. And but 4:44, I would wake up and I could not go back to sleep until I took pen in hand and wrote down all of the wonderful things that they wanted me to write. And I'm grateful. It's just I said, I mean, 651 would work. 705 would work, but the 444, and I realized that that vibration of the angels. And interestingly enough, I just have to throw this in. When I was told to go and find an opalescent piece of crystal, a turquoise opalescent piece of crystal, I go, sure. And in Tucson, here in Arizona, they have a gem show. I'd never been there in all my times in Arizona. And so I'm going to drive down there. I had no idea that the whole city was the gym show. Every
Wow.
hotel had people in it selling gyms, selling gyms. And I'm going, "Oh, this is going to be interesting." So I parked my car and there were buses. We'll take you to A, we'll take you to E zone, we'll take you to this, and I go, "What the heck?" Get on a bus. The bus travels right past my car and down in front of this little motel. I've been on the bus, what, 3.5 seconds? I look out and I see a turquoise, opalescent singing bowl. And I said,
Oh, yeah,
that is
of
the
course it
vibration
would be.
of the angels. And it is also, it builds the immune system. And I'm
Wow.
going, okay, I'm not surprised, odd, but I never, I never get upset. It's like, okay,
Yeah,
that was not what I was expecting, but that was better than I could have ever expected.
that is everything in one synchronicity, right? Guidance, um,
Exactly.
angels, connection, the numbers, everything. I have a short story too about a turquoise. I bought my first one in Greece, and because Rhodes is an island, it has the shape of Rhodes. I could not pick a better one, could I?
Wow.
So
Yeah.
I could actually, it's tiny, it's not big, I think it's like this, but it has the shape of Rhodes. But I know that I'm connected to this place. I've been here. I had a resistance coming here in the beginning of this life, so I had a few experiences in other realities here, but that's fine, right? But you were so guided, and and the frequency.
Yeah. And the reason that I'm chuckling is because uh, you and I, uh, we just go along, and then we listen to what's going, and we go, whoa, well, that's really took me to a place that I wasn't expecting. And it's it's so childlike to just trust
Yeah,
that, hanging on to this synchronicity and hanging on to the being guided. It sure takes a lot of pressure off, you know.
it does, and it gives so much. It gives joy. It gives laughter, a sense of balance, everything. Feeling really confident. But if we would have stated, okay, yeah, I know all those things. I don't really believe they are going to happen to me, but keep on telling me, right? We wouldn't
Hmm.
have had those. So we need to also allow the process of following through. And once we start, synchronicities and guidance is increasing too.
Yes.
But it's coming in different ways each and every time. So now they're not showering me. They know they have me now, so they don't need to shower me in numbers. I promised you. I wrote, and I think I had 5 small notebooks, thick ones.
Man, I know. I've done that. And okay, well, what is this leading me to, and how does this fit in? And it became a job. It didn't become an adventure. And I go, okay, all right, let's just back off a minute. And but you emerge yourself, and that's great. And then you decide,
Yes.
well, I don't have to be constantly doing that. I can do some
No,
other things too.
because it's also sacred to be here living on this earth, right? So it's equally
Absolutely.
sacred as everything else. We chose to come, by the way. That's my perception.
Yep.
Next question. So, which numbers, meaning beginnings, balance, creativity, love, etc., resonates most with your current journey?
What resonates more with my current journey?
Mhm.
That's interesting. Um, but on a personal note, I know that I am withdrawing a little bit because I'm going into a metamorphosis right now. I know that I am going to be shedding what does not serve me anymore. Um, I know that I am moving into another depth, a new beginning. So that's a difficult question to answer because I think all of the energies around me are motivating me on different levels to step into this reawakening.
Exactly. I would say, if I would say something, that you are, because you are in a phase of transformation, right?
Hmm.
And it resonates with the endings, number 9, but also with number 10 that comes right after.
Yes.
Both the void, which you are very deeply connected to, and the new beginning
Hmm.
on the other side. And also 10, a sum of all, you know,
Yep.
of all the numbers
Yes.
together, completeness, right?
Yeah. Ah, yes.
Yes.
So you have more? I bless you. Your brilliant mind is just it sits there and it goes, how can I word this so she'll almost be able to answer it, but not quite. And then she's going to squirm and wiggle, and yes, you do know how to provoke thought.
I have the fourth question. I think we can skip that. I'm going to say it because I know we both believe in numbers that they can guide us. So the question is, do you believe numbers can guide us, or do you see them more as coincidences? No, I think they are guiding us, and I think you do the
Yes.
same. So that's a fast one. So we take the last question. If you could choose one number as your cosmic compass, which would it be?
Oh, geez.
Here's for the brilliant mind, right?
Oh, now, universe, this is just a question that I'm answering here. I would say to live up to my transformation into stepping in and becoming the divine master that I came here to be.
Yes.
And whatever
And that's the
number
master
is going
number.
to hold that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a master number. I would say 11 to that one,
Yeah.
and even beyond. That's you. Thank you for being with us, Miss Corinne.
Whew, man, you had me squirming on this one, which is good because I needed to move my body a little bit, but I know I was fidgeting and I'm going, okay, how do I, but thank you for the beautiful opportunity to be provoked and inspired to move beyond the comfort zone. Thank you.
Thank you too. And you can always throw them back, you know. Um,
Yes, and I was thinking, but I went brain dead, and it's like, okay, we're just gonna get through this, and you know,
so I want to say to everybody, I think this has been really intriguing and interesting. And you know where to find us. You can find Miss Corinne at liquidenergyhealing.com and also find out all about her at angelplaceonearth.com/cosmic guardians. And of course, you can find all past episodes at all of these places now. Listen, angelplaceonearth.com/upcoming dash past and youtube.com/at cosmic guardians 111 and youtube.com/at angelplaceonearth/streams. And unfortunately, today we weren't able, according to StreamYard, to go live on the new Cosmic Guardians YouTube channel, but we are going to stream this right after this show, both on the new Cosmic Guardians YouTube and of course on facebook.com/Cosmic Guardians page as well, right? So what do you feel? Are you ready to wrap this up or
I think we had we had a delightful time, and we took apples and oranges, and we have given people a beautiful dessert that they can sample this and sample that, and I think that is what it's all about.
exactly? Exactly. So our next upcoming show is next Wednesday, and it's going to be December 17th, approaching Christmas and New Year, right? And we will talk about ethereal transmissions, the journey of spiritual downloads and upgrades. That's going to be really intriguing. Hmm.
Yeah.
And again, you can find upcoming and past episodes at our brand new YouTube channel for Cosmic Guardians at youtube.com/at Cosmic Guardians 111 numbers, right?
111.
And we will continue to stream live also, which we are currently doing today at youtube.com/at Angel Place on Earth/streams. We have a lot of information for you. You can connect with us, find Karine, find her phone number, website, and find me and how to connect with me at angelplaceonearth.com/Cosmic Guardians. And you can find our series at angelplaceonearth.com/series-cosmic-guardians. So we are all over the place just for you to find. I want to end this with both an affirmation and a mantra today, as we usually do. We love to do that. So, do you want to read the affirmation or do you want me to read it?
I'm going to let you do that because my voice is starting to crickle a little bit.
Okay. So, I trust the divine messages within numbers. Each digit brings clarity, guidance, and alignment to my path. And the mantra is I walk with confidence. I trust my guidance. I follow the light within. That
Wow.
gives you power.
It does.
It does. And we close tonight's journey through divine digits. Remember, numbers are not just symbols, they are whispers from the universe guiding us toward clarity, purpose, and alignment. Carry these whispers and the guidance with you. Trust the patterns you see, and know that every number is a reminder that you're exactly where you're meant to be. Until we meet again, keep listening to the language of the cosmos and your soul and your guidance, and let the numbers lead you home. With infinite love, peace, and joy, we see you, we hear you, we honor you, we love you, we appreciate you.
Yes.
And that is coming from us. And thank you so much.
Yes. Beautiful. Beautiful.
Beautiful. Thank you. Bye.
Bye bye.